What's cooking?
Apparently this is the second episode of our show.
Apparently this is the second episode of our show. What are we making this week, buddy?
Biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy.
Does it come with gravy?
This week's episode is dedicated to Tracy Herda, all the way from London, England.
Hi, Aunt Tracy.
In addition to being someone who loves good food and makes great suggestions, outside of my wife, my sister, and this little guy right here, she also just happens to be my very best friend. So for our gluten-free biscuits, we're going to need some key ingredients. One of them is going to be gluten-free flour. I like Bob's Red Mill. It has a variety of different grain-free flours already in it, and xanthan gum, which if it didn't, you'd have to add that in later, so this is just going to make your life easier. We're going to need some aluminum-free baking powder and some vegan butter. Miyoko's brand, I like this brand. They make excellent cheeses and vegan butters. And we could probably come up with some way to make a plant-based gluten-free sausage, but that's going to be a whole other list of ingredients and probably a lot of time that you don't want to put into this. So we're going to use
This bad boy.
this bad boy right here, Beyond Breakfast Sausages. This is probably the best breakfast sausage out of all the other plant-based breakfast sausages that I've found so far. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier, and it falls right in line with one of my favorite life sayings, just keep it simple.
Yeah, because sometimes you just don't feel like picking up your toys. Just keep it simple.
No, that is not what that means.
Just shoot 'em a shot, Dad.
Great try, son. Respect. Now for our gluten-free biscuits, we will be using 2 cups of gluten-free flour. After our flour is added, we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of aluminum-free baking powder. Now, make sure that it's aluminum-free baking powder or you will get a metallic aftertaste. And plus, who wants to be ingesting aluminum?
Maybe robots.
Maybe robots. We're going to add in 1 teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt and give all of our dry ingredients a whisk to mix them together. Once they're all mixed in together, we're going to add in 5 tablespoons of plant-based butter. Make sure it's cold. Put all of this in your mixing bowl and start to mix on low. We want the butter to cut into the flour as opposed to cream and mix into the flour. If you don't have a mixer, that's okay. I'm pretty sure you can use a handheld mixer. Just use it on low and be careful not to overmix. Once the butter is cut into the flour, we're going to add in 1 cup of plant-based milk. I suggest using a full-fat oat milk.
With cacao?
Not this time, buddy.
Come on.
Once our ingredients are thoroughly mixed, we're going to transfer our dough from our mixing bowl onto a piece of wax or parchment paper, form it into a dough ball, and then press it down until we get about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick high. I'm going to take a 2-inch cookie/biscuit cutter, and we're going to press this right down into our dough to form our biscuits.
You mean like this?
Exactly like that. Great job, buddy.
Are you sure these are gonna be biscuits?
Well, I think so. But that's the whole point of our show. We get suggestions and then we try things out. Sometimes we'll have successes, maybe sometimes we won't. But I have a feeling that this one is going to turn out just fine. Now, when you no longer get any more biscuits out of your original dough mound, rework that dough into a ball and press it back down again to about 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and repeat that process. You should be able to get about 6 biscuits out of this recipe. We're going to brush on a little bit of oat milk on top of these biscuits before we throw them in the oven for browning, and we're going to put them in there at 425 degrees for about 15 to 18 minutes. Now, onto our gravy. Now we're going to use 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and this is going to act as a thickening agent for our gravy. We are then going to take 1.5 to 2 cups of that full-fat oat milk.
With cacao, right?
Not this time, buddy.
Oh, come on.
After that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of Better Than Bouillon's vegetable-based bouillon paste right into our milk. Next, we're going to throw in 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and then we're going to give this a good blend with our mixer. The reason that we're mixing all of these ingredients together before we put it over our heat is traditionally when making gravy, you can brown flour right in your hot pan and then add your liquid ingredients in. But since we're doing gluten-free, if you try to do that with cornstarch, it's all going to clump up and then you're just going to end up with a giant mess. We're going to put our pan on a low to medium heat and then add our gravy mixture. Continue to stir this around until it starts to thicken a little, lower the heat just a tad, and then let that start to thicken up while we go start on our sausages. Now for our sausage, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of grapeseed oil, since it's perfect for high temperature cooking, into a hot frying pan and spread it around the bottom of the pan so that our sausage doesn't stick while we're cooking it. we're going to take our sausage patties and start to break these up into little sausage clumps. We're going to throw these right into our hot oiled pan and let these bad boys start to sizzle. Now while our sausage is cooking, we're going to take our spatula and start to break our sausage pieces into even smaller bits before we add it into our gravy. Speaking of which, let's go check out our gravy. Oh man, that smells good, and it's thickening up nicely. Give that a little whisk and let it continue to thicken. When our sausage is finished and we got it to a nice brown cooked sausage, we're going to add our sausage pieces into our gravy. And we're going to add that in with the oil and all. Since the oil has been cooking these sausages, it's soaked up all that sausage flavor, and it's only going to enrich and deepen the taste and flavor of our gravy. Our biscuits should just be about ready, and let's pull these bad boys out. Voila! Oh, success. Now we're just going to add our sausage gravy right onto the top of these bad boys. And guess what? We've got biscuits and gravy.
Let's eat it, let's eat it, let's eat it.
Bon appetit! All right, so now we have our biscuits and gravy all prepared. Now it's time for the fun part. Let's give this a little taste. Cheers. Boink. That's good. Thank you so much for spending time with us and letting us cook for you. And we look forward to doing it again next time. Tell them have a great day.
Have a great day.
Have a great day, guys.
See you on the next What's Cooking.
That's right.
Don't get your own, 'cause we cooking.